proud campus students. Once in a while, we make sure that it is international. Meaning that it's not just regional, right? It's not just in the east or in the west or somewhere. But some church hosts this event for everybody around the world to partake in it. And so this year it's actually going to be within our very corridors here in Ohio, an hour away in Cincinnati, amen? So yes, it's for students. But if you want to go, if you're not a student, you can still go and have a good time, amen? Amen. I also do want to do something that I forgot to do last week, but I'm still excited about. And I'm going to do it right now. And that's yet another announcement. In fact, it's more so good news than an announcement. You know, it's great to always have baptisms and additions to our membership. But you know what else is great is when your own brothers and sisters decide to leave where they are, which is bad for where they used to be, but yet join us, which is good for us. We'll take it, especially when they're awesome. And so we have a couple who actually left the very comfort zone in Tokyo, Japan. They've been there for a minute, and they decided to join our ranks. They're here in Dayton. They're going to be here permanently. They were here last week for the first time, but for the second time here and forever, hopefully, we have Yuya and Veronica, our young ladies. Yeah, there you go. I will not say what their age is, but they're not teenagers. I want to make sure of that. Also, real quick, after service, we're going to have a couple of quick different meetings here, gatherings. This is really for the organization of Women's Day, the Women's Tea coming up. Chris Hayes would like to see the young married men at the end of service for a quick second here to my left and to your right. As well as Miss Lisa Hayes would also like to see any women who has been tapped to actually be part of the organization for Women's Tea right after service as well, here to my right and to your left. Amen? Amen. 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 Well, you know, good news is not over. All right? I have more good news for you. Jesus has risen. Amen. That's not what you want to hear, man. But I believe that Jesus, rises every single day through the birth of awesome kids. And my beautiful wife gave birth to a beautiful young man. Come on now. And, this brother is already opening his eyes, man. Already opening his eyes. This is actually yesterday. She gave birth in the morning at 9:30. And in the afternoon, he was already opening his eyes and looking around, although he can't see anything. And, obviously, he's gorgeous. He looks just like his mama. And he actually looks just like his older brother when his older brother was his age, a day old. I mean, it's the same picture. It's unbelievable. So I'm kind of anxious to see what he looks like when he will be like a year and a half, But his name is Sean Parker Tino Seya. You want to know what Nanzier means, right?
Kind of.
Sure, yeah. Well, Nanzier is actually a word in my ethnic language, which is Guo, G-O-U-R-O. And my ethnic tribe is a tribe that honors a lot, people that are part of, families and things like that. And so when it comes to, our family, Nanzier actually means named after grandma, which is an honor because grandmothers are honored back home. And I think I talk a lot about that even when it comes to being older and everything like that. The older are always honored and everything. And actually, well, it's not really a coincidence. I have to think that through. But Nanzier means named after grandma because actually Sean is my mother's first name. Thus, his grandmother's name. And he's named after his grandma. So I had to give him, a Wakanda name, an African name. I did that, grew, what I'm saying, for my tribe. So you guys will get to see him. In fact, even after church, if you want to go see him, you can go. We are Swan Hospital right here across the street, room 2215 in maternity. Juanita is looking amazing. She's doing great. She's already getting better, walking around and everything. And she couldn't be happier. I'm already having a hard time with Miles. I was trying to clean up, this one yesterday, and Miles was just not having it. Why am I cleaning him and I'm not cleaning Miles? That was basically the question. But it's good kind of hatred, good jealousy.
Well,
is there such a thing? I could not be happier. I could not be more blessed. To have two beautiful sons, a beautiful wife, and it just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't get any better. Doesn't get any better. And so I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have you guys in my life. We're just a big blessed family, aren't we? Yeah. And so thank you for just all the support and everything. Today's going to be a great sermon, I believe, because I think that our lives as Christians, sometimes we treat them as something else than fun. It gets a little too serious, a little too tense. And when it comes to a childish mind and a childlike heart, you have to kind of do the separation. If you are childish in your mind, you're always kind of tense and you're just not a happy camper. Life is not fun, right? When children are being childish, they're just not happy, right? Always complaining about something, mad at something. But when they're being childlike, life is fun. See, my son was being childish yesterday when I was trying to clean up my other son. He was miserable. I've never heard him cry like that. He was mad. He was being childish. But he was being so childlike when he first saw his brother, and I was holding him, and he leaped to kiss him. Some people were in the room and saw that. I should have given the picture to see that, but maybe next week. It was the first time I was meeting him, but there was a connection that he felt right away. He had to kiss him. Point at him, trying to touch him, and every time I'm like, your hand's dirty. Let's. And that's the life we live. Of course, we've been undergoing the series, A Childish Mind or A Childlike Heart. And the sermon of the title today is A Childish Mind or A Childlike Heart, the life of an adventurer. Let's go to John 10. Yes, Christ was righteous. Yes, he was perfect. He preached love and righteousness. But Christ, if you really study him, was full God, but he was also full man. And as a man, he did things that we do. Christ went to parties. We know that his first miracle was at a party, right? A wedding. I mean, it could have been just any other miracle. Maybe actually helping someone who was drunk get undrunk. But he actually made more wine. That's telling. You decide what you want to think about now. But Christ was fun. Let's go to John 10, verse 10. He says, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. That's not fun. That's terrible. To steal and kill and destroy. That's what we see out there today. Unfortunately. He said, but I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. And we've talked a little bit about that before. You know, Jesus wants us to live this life fully. Have a good time. I think another way to put the scripture is to say, you know what, make your lives an adventure. Now, if you know me, you will know that my favorite movie, or I would say installment movies of all time, is the movie or the installments called Indiana Jones. That's my favorite. I love them. See, I didn't have time to do that, just so y'all know. Yeah, this is a pure coincidence. Yeah, we have, you know. That's my favorite guy right there. When I go to Disneyland or Disney World, my favorite ride has to be, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. The Indiana Jones ride. Oh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I mean, that truck is bouncing around and you feel you're going to fall, and it's adventurous. It's great. Especially when you walk around Disneyland, it's been hot and you're tired. It's awesome. And you know, sometimes you're on that ride and it goes places where, you know, there's a little bit of water splashing and it falls like this. It feels so good. I love being an adventurer. I love discovering. I love taking risks. I tell you, it's been an adventurous couple of days. Friday we had a couple of things that we were supposed to do and hang out with different people and everything, and we had to cut that short. I remember we were hanging out with the co-walls, and when we were done, we had to go back home, yet to have another gathering at the house with a couple of brothers and sisters. And once we got in the car, at the restaurant, we get in the car, my wife tells me, we need to go to the hospital. My wife broke.
Well,
I'm like, it's the tacos you just had, right? She's like, stop playing. I have to call the other people, tell them, you know what, we're going to have to cancel this. We're out of here. We rushed to the hospital. Yes, there was some stuff going on, but you know, it turned out, you know what? It's probably a false alarm. Let's try to wait till the next day. Sean decided, no, man, I'm coming. I'm coming. So we had to go back. We were there for, we've been there since yesterday. You know, I had to give up Miles a couple of nights because they can't have, you know, Miles there for, you know, overnight and everything. Which is, you know, it's painful. You want your son there and everything, and it's been an adventure. Yeah. But a good one. And I wonder sometimes if we transform our lives into a good adventure. What kind of lives do we live? Especially for those of us who not only have been Christians, but have been so for a long time. It's either you decide to live a full life or a dull one. And it becomes dull sometimes. We're going to see 2 points real quick here today. The first point is a childish adventure. And each point we're going to see is going to reflect an adventure in the Bible that we've discovered. A certain man that had to undergo something. The first man in the point of childish adventure is the prodigal son. Luke 15. We're going to read verses 11 to 16. Most of you guys know the story of the prodigal son. It says, there was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, Father, give me my share of the estate. So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, there was a severe famine in that whole country. in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country. Who knows how much he was getting paid? I know what he was eating though. Because his boss sent him to his fields to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating. Do you know what pigs eat? I want you to think about that for a minute. They eat everything. But we also eat everything, but it's not the same everything, right? Do you know that pigs actually eat doodle? They eat that. That's part of the regimen. This dude was so hungry, he didn't have anything, to the point where he longed to eat what the pigs were eating.
Yeah, come on.
Good night. That's rough. But no one, even that, no one gave him anything. Even that, he couldn't have. Now, when God is going to be rough, God is going to be rough. Here's a young man who decided, you know what, my life is boring. That's probably what he was thinking. You know what, I need something different. I need something new. I got to get out of here. That's not a bad attitude. We gotta learn to sort of push ourselves out of our comfort zones.
Yeah.
We gotta be willing to discover and learn new things. But it's the way we go about it that matters even more. You know, in those times, even today really, but especially in those times, anything that was associated with the word inheritance or estate, unfortunately, was also associated with the death of the person giving the inheritance. This young man tells his dad, yo, give me my estate now. He's not even the older brother. I mean, what does he think he is? Right? Give me my estate now. Give me my inheritance now. He tells that to his dad straight in his dad's face. In other words, Dad, you are dead to me. You no longer matter. You don't exist. All you've done for me is done. It's never mattered. What matters right now is my inheritance. You don't matter. My other brother don't matter. My mama don't matter. The servants, nobody matters. So that was his adventure. That's the adventure that he decided to go on. You know what? I'm going to take my money and I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go to a whole other country and set off and see what God has for me. You know, sometimes we tell ourselves that. Try to kind of spiritualize things. You see what God has for me. God has nothing to do with this adventure right here. Let me go see what's up out there with all the money that my dad just gave me. Do we do that sometimes? Yeah. I mean, how many times have we asked God for our inheritance now?
Come on.
And if he doesn't give it to us, how many times do we get mad?
Yeah.
How many times do we treat God like he's dead? So much so that we even are tempted to leave. We may even depart. It may be a physical departure, it may be a spiritual one, but many times we leave the premises. Righteousness is of no matter. We just want to go do what we want to do. But we don't think of anything else. That is an adventure. Just not the right one. Childish. To always ask God for what we want. To be selfish and think about us. my inheritance now. Give me this car now. Give me this house now. I work hard for it. God, give me a better weather. Give me this, give me that. That's the adventure that we want many times. And that's what this gentleman was on. And what's interesting is, it's not for lack of knowledge. I don't know if y'all noticed, but as nasty and disgusting as pigs are, as just nasty as they are, pigs, and whatever their family, boars, wild boars, whatever, all these, do you know that a part of the 3 smartest animals on the planet? And in some cases, they actually are named the smartest. Above dolphins, above chimpanzees, and above elephants. Wow. And above octopuses. Those are the 5. Chimpanzees, pigs, dolphins, octopus, elephants. Many times they name first the pigs. They have the bigger brain and everything. Now this guy, he became like a pig. He knew what was up. He was intelligent. He understood what's up. And only when things became rough, try to surge back to God. Which is the part that we're not going to read today, but we know the rest of the story. And that was good, because the whole point is that, going back to Jesus. But the adventure that he chose first is what we tend to want so many times, what we want. What I want. What matters to me is what matters most. My job matters most. My money matters most. My success matters most. The way I appear in front of others matters most. What I'm going to wear matters most. I'm driving a Corona. I need a Benz. That right now is mattering most than anything else. What I live in matters most. Who I hang around matters most. They gotta be hip people. Gotta be people wearing the nicest clothes. She gotta have the nice purse if I'm gonna hang around her. What matters most is what matters to us. And that's what happened to this gentleman, the prodigal son. His adventure was to go to some country and squander all that God gave him. You know, I'm going to tell you something. Many times we ask what we want. We prematurely ask for our inheritance. And you know what happens? God gives it to us. It may not even be in his own timing, but he decides, you know what, I'm going to make his timing mine. I'm going to give it to you. You know what we do with it? We squander it. We waste it. Because whatever we do with it is not in God's name, obviously. And so we use this adventure in a wasteful manner. We become like children, wanting, 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 and wanting. We become childish. Is that where we are today? Is that where you are? As a church, is that where we are? But individually, is that where you are? Are you contemplating contemplating leaving, that sin that you've been living in secret, are you contemplating keeping on going with it?
Come on.
As long as nobody discovers, I'm cool. I'm all right. I'm still going to church. God's grace is abundant. I'm cool.
Wow.
I ain't got to tell nobody. I don't have to expose it to the light. Besides, it's between God and I. Yeah, you better believe it's between God and you. That's the problem. Because what happened between the prodigal son and his God, his dad, which God is to us, was only his fault. So we have to choose what adventure do we want to go on. A childish adventure. One in which we are selfish and arrogant. Or the second point. The childlike adventure. I haven't looked at it yet, but y'all laughing, so that means there's something funny on the screen. Wow. Now that is a childlike adventure right there. Yes. What the heck is that? Is that a dog or something?
The never-ending story. It's a luck dragon. Never-ending story.
That's pretty funky looking.
That was my child.
But that's adventurous right there. But you see, that's the whole point. And we're going to talk about it in a minute. You know, adventurous is doing something like this. You don't even know what the animal is. You're just going to go and mess with it.
It's a luck dragon.
Acts chapter 8, verse 26. I love the life of an adventurer. And I believe that as Christians, our lives ought to be adventurous. Let's take risks. Let's have a good time. Let's do things that we've never done before. Acts chapter 8. The prodigal son was an adventurer, but he did it the wrong way. Another adventurer is this man right here, whom we know, also known as the Ethiopian eunuch. Verses 26 to 39, the scripture says, Now an angel of the Lord said to Philip, Go south to the road, the desert road, that goes down from Jerusalem to Gaza. So he started out. And by the way, this was an adventure for Philip himself. We're not even going to get into that. He started out on his way. He met an Ethiopian eunuch, an important official in charge of all the treasury of Candace, queen of the Ethiopians. The treasury, that's all our money. This guy was like the minister of economy. I don't know how to call that here in the U.S. Secretary of Treasury, I guess. That's a big position in the government, right? Yeah. Wow. Big time. I mean, I think about, to have to deal with money that actually the queen owns. But this treasury here was for the queen. It's not even for the country. The queen. These men had gone to Jerusalem to worship. That's probably the shortest part in this passage, but that's the adventure right there. Yeah. It's a good 800 kilometers from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to Jerusalem, Israel. 800 kilometers. About 100 kilometers of that is a body of water called the Detroit of Gibraltar. Very tiny body of water that separates Africa from the Middle East and from Europe. Which entails that this gentleman had to take his servants, whoever drove him, his whole carriage, everything, crossed northern Africa, which is desert, and crossed the Detroit of Gibraltar, which in geography is small, but for you and I, it's huge. And it's not shallow waters, it's the ocean. How did he do it with the horses? I don't know, but he did it. And then when he finally got to the Middle East, he still has to make ways to Jerusalem. Is that an adventure or what? Yeah. And by the way, you weren't staying there. You're coming back. As a matter of fact, it's on his way back that his story is taking place. Verse 28. And on his way home, he was sitting in his chariot reading the book of Isaiah the prophet. The Spirit told Philip, go to that chariot and stay near it. Then Philip ran up to the chariot and heard the man reading Isaiah the prophet. Do you understand what you're reading? I even still sometimes don't understand what Isaiah is talking about in Isaiah. I'm telling you. How can I? He said, unless someone explains it to me. So he invited Philip to come up and sit with him. The eunuch was reading this passage of scripture. He was led like a sheep to the slaughter. As a lamb before the shearer is silent, so he did not open his mouth. In his humiliation, he was deprived of justice. Who can speak of his descendants? For his life was taken from earth. The eunuch asked Philip, tell me, please, who's the prophet talking about here? Himself or someone else? Then Philip began with that very passage of scripture and told him the good news about Jesus. As they traveled along the road, they came to some water. And the eunuch said, look, here is water. Why shouldn't I be baptized? And he gave orders to stop the chariot. Then both Philip and the eunuch went down into the water and Philip baptized him. When they came out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord suddenly took Philip away. This would have been an extraordinary event. Wait, what happened? Wait. That wasn't a problem for the eunuch. So the eunuch did not see him again, but went on his way rejoicing, like matter of factly. You know, it doesn't really say it here, it's pure stipulation, but I believe that the eunuch must have reached out to his driver, baptized him too.
Yeah. Come on.
That's an adventure as well. Yeah. Leaving your place, decide, you know what? There's something missing, just like the prodigal son. I'm missing something. I need something. But going the right way about it. I heard about this Jesus thing and Christianity. I heard that they do stuff in Jerusalem, some type of pilgrimage. You know what? Let me ask my boss if I can go. He did. Obviously, she gave him the permission. And he went. I mean, what that drive must have been to just go. Must have been adventurous. Do you know what kind of stuff you encounter on the road? Do you know what happens in the sand of the Sahara Desert? They have some of the deadliest snakes in there. Scorpions. You may not get hurt, but your horse is going to get it. Something's going to happen. I'm willing to take the risk to go and discover something new. Yeah. I got to give it up for you and Veronica here. Yeah. It's like, you know what? I love here, I love Tokyo, I love Japan, but you know, something missing, I need something new. I need to get out of my comfort zone. I need to go explore something else. Yeah. Let's go to the U.S. I'm going to tell you, the U.S. is an adventure, all right? Let me tell you something. Everybody wants to come to the U.S. And then when they come, yeah. Let's see what's up. It's obviously not a bad country. It's the best country in the world. But because it's the best country in the world, it comes with all kinds of stuff. Yeah. You know, when I moved here in 1996, I was 18 years old. I've been a disciple 2.5, almost 3 years. I mean, I was full of zest for Jesus, fired up. And I was ready for this adventure, not understanding what that meant. The culture shock, the different mindset, the different behavior. It's not bad here, it's not bad in Africa, it's just different. I mean, the nostalgia, missing home. I think I said that before here. My great-grandmother, who passed away now, was a disciple. Amen to that. I was staying with her for the first maybe 6 months of being in the U.S. I ran up her bill, her telephone bill, $1,800. I told myself, oh, my dad's not taking that. I was calling my pals from Ivory Coast. I was missing home. I needed to hear them. I couldn't let go. I wasn't understanding that the adventure was all about, you know what, letting go of one and grabbing the other. Letting go of your sin, letting go of your selfishness, and grabbing towards Jesus. There's nostalgia in that. You miss the old ways. You want to be selfish sometimes. You want to be you sometimes. You're tired of always thinking about others. There's a culture shock spiritually. It's different. The good thing is there's no bill to pay. The Bible becomes your telephone. And it's free. Because it's the same Bible that you read when you were on the other side sometimes. Now it's available to you 100%. That's an adventure. That's a childlike adventure. One that's full of risk. You know, this is the last thing I'm going to share here. The last story I'm going to share. And we'll be done. An adventure that's full of risk. A couple of months ago, my wife and I went to Los Angeles. And we were in a hotel. It was a cool little place. One of them hotels, you know, with the doors, you know, with the regular, not the roundhouse, but the ones that, you know, up and down. My son is smart now, you know, Miles, you know, big, smart. He knows what's up. He's tall enough to be able to open the door. From the outside, the door is locked. From the inside, it's not. And he knew that. And because it's not, you know, you got to put a little lever in, you know, on top to lock it. We didn't do that at night. Went to bed. I wake up really early in the morning to go hang out with a buddy. Well, y'all remember Kenny? Kenny's a Chuku. So I woke up at about 4 in the morning to go hang out with him because he had to go to work early and we had to hang out. So it was still nighttime and everything. So I go there, I leave them, I close the door. I come back, I'm parking the car, and I see my wife, already parked and everything, running around with tears, going crazy. I see her and her first thing, where's my son? What are you talking? And I have food, by the way. I bought some food, you know, breakfast. You know, we're gonna have a nice little breakfast. And forget all that. Turns out she wakes up in the morning, around 6:30, 7 in the morning, to see the door wide open. Miles got up, left the bed, went open the door, diapers only, nothing on top, no shoes, nothing, and just ventured out. It took us 35 minutes to find him. And it took us that much time because he started to kind of wail a little bit, whine a little bit, started to miss home a little bit. It turned out that he made his way down some stairs, up some other stairs, went to the outside of the hotel, and was chilling in front of just somebody's door. And crying. Waiting for mom and dad to come. And you know, it was funny because we asked the office, did you see a little boy? Oh yeah, we saw a little boy running around. We even was wondering, why did you get him? I actually screamed like that. I I have to go apologize later. Why did you? Now, normally I want to lose my son, but I want to go to jail. That's selfish, you know. No. He was sitting down by the balcony of somebody. And so when we made our way up, he saw us. The cry completely transformed to a big smile with his big old dimples. Got up, ran to my wife. She was crying. You know why Miles did that? Because he's a child. He's pure at heart. He's innocent. And children at that stage, all they want to do is discover. They're willing to take risks because they're adventurous. See, we have to adopt the child of heart and be adventurous in our lives as Christians. And see our lives as fun. And not full of just trouble time, drama, problems, complaints, anger. Let's have some fun. Let's have fun being righteous. So in a second, Dr. Felix is going to come and try to create a fun way for us to do something righteous, which is to raise money for special contribution. I want you guys to pay attention and to partake in it, to abide by it, embrace it, have a good time. Have a good time not looking at that girl passing by in a selfish and lustful way. Meaning like, you know what, Satan? I'm going to want, you know what? You're not going to win this battle. I'm not looking. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to turn the other way. I mean, make fun of it. I'm going to do something. We make things a little too difficult sometimes.
Right.
To God be the glory. It's up to us to choose a childish adventure or a childlike adventure.
Come on.
I want to adopt a childlike adventure. I hope you can join me, because there's nothing more fun than to live a life of a Christian when we take risks and we allow Jesus to guide us. Amen. To God be the glory.